The night was colder than she expected, the stars sharp and unblinking against the black velvet sky as Sarah clutched her little boy close to her chest and hurried along the dirt road. Every step felt heavy, weighted with the echoes of the place she had left behind. The shouting, the threats, the final slam of the door that told her she had no home anymore. Her child, Samuel, was barely 7, but his small arms tightened around her neck with a trust that cut deeper than any wound. He didn't ask questions, only laid his head on her shoulder, as though he sensed that words might break the fragile strength keeping his mother moving forward. Her breath came in shallow bursts, the dust rising around her boots, the prairie stretching endlessly before her. She had nothing but the clothes on her back, a small bag with a single blanket, and the child who was her reason to keep walking. Hunger clawed at her, but she pressed on, whispering promises to Samuel that they would find a place safe enough to rest. By the time the horizon began to bleed with dawn, Sarah's body was trembling with exhaustion. Her steps faltered, and when her knees buckled, Samuel's frightened cry pierced the silence. That was when she heard the distant rhythm of hooves. Steady and sure, she froze, fear rising in her throat. A rider emerged from the shadows of morning, a cowboy, tall in the saddle, hat brim casting his face in shade. His horse slowed as he caught sight of the weary woman clutching her child like a shield. For a long moment they stared at each other, her eyes filled with mistrust, his with something quieter, steadier. Then he spoke, his voice deep yet gentle, carrying across the open land like a promise. "You look like you've been running a long while." Sarah's lips trembled, but she said nothing. Words had failed her before. Promises from men had been broken too often. She held Samuel tighter, ready to bolt though her body screamed against it. The cowboy dismounted slowly, hands raised just enough to show he meant no harm. His boots crunched softly on the dirt as he came closer, stopping a few feet away. The morning light revealed a face weathered by sun and work, but his eyes held a kindness that made Samuel lift his head curiously from his mother's shoulder. The cowboy crouched slightly, lowering himself to the boy's level. "That little one's got brave eyes," he said softly, smiling at Samuel. Then he looked up at Sarah. "You don't have to tell me what you're running from, but I reckon no one should be left standing alone in the dust with nothing but fear to hold. Them." Sarah's throat burned with unspilled tears. She wanted to refuse him, to shield herself from the risk of trust. But Samuel shifted in her arms and whispered, "Mama, he's nice," and it was the child's innocent faith that loosened the dam she had built inside herself. Her shoulders shook as she sank to the ground, clutching Samuel to her chest. She didn't sob loudly, didn't scream, just let the quiet, broken weeping come. The cowboy watched a moment, then knelt before them. He didn't reach out until her gaze met his, searching, questioning. Only then did he extend his hands, rough from rope and reins, yet steady as stone. "You don't have to carry it all alone anymore," he said, his voice low, steady as a heartbeat. "You've got 2 more arms to hold you now." Sarah's breath caught. Those words pierced her, not like a blade but like sunlight breaking through storm clouds. For so long she had believed she had only herself, only the strength she could scrape together for her child. The thought of being held, of being helped, felt almost impossible. But Samuel, small fingers reaching out, placed his hand in the cowboy's palm, trusting before she could. That simple act shattered the last wall inside her. Slowly, trembling, she let the cowboy take some of Samuel's weight from her arms. And in that moment, Sarah felt something she hadn't felt in years: relief. The cowboy rose, lifting Samuel with practiced ease, settling the boy against his chest. Samuel rested his head there, unafraid. The cowboy looked back at Sarah, extending one hand to her. "Come on now," he said softly. "There's a warm fire, a roof, and food waiting. You don't have to keep walking alone into the dark." Sarah hesitated, the battle between fear and hope raging inside her. But when she placed her hand in his, rough warmth meeting her weary palm, she knew she had made a choice that could change everything. Together they walked back toward the horse, the sun climbing higher, painting the town in gold. For the first time in forever, Sarah felt that maybe, just maybe, tomorrow could be brighter. Maybe home wasn't the place she had left, but the arms she had found. And as Samuel drifted into sleep against the cowboy's chest, Sarah whispered to herself, "We're not alone anymore."